or more accurately, a love square. We're done here, we're done. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going through all the books I physically own that I haven't read yet. So my physical TBR. And guys, I will admit, I have 80 unread books. I went and counted them yesterday to see how many I had, and I have 80 unread books. So that means we're going through 80 books today. So I'm gonna try and not talk about them too much. You know, some of them we might skip over a little bit quickly than others. Some of them I might go into a little bit more detail. But so that this video is not exceptionally long, we're going to try and, you know, keep the rambling to a minimum. So we will see how that goes. But I am expecting it to be a bit of a longer video because of the amount of books we need to talk about. Firstly, just want to put out a few things about why I have so many unread books. When I was younger, when I first started reading, I didn't have a job. So it was like pocket money, like money I got from like birthdays or like from my grandma and granddad, like they slipped me a tenner or whatnot. That money I would save and save and save until I had like £100–200, and then I would spend it all on books. And I did that for a long time when I was younger. And so I have quite a lot from that. I built my collection pretty quickly. Two, I have received a lot of books for birthdays and Christmases. So like one of the most easiest gifts to get me is a book. And so like my friends will get me a book, my family gets me books. And so then I would have a lot of books all at once. And third of all, I treat my bookshelf as a personal library. A library has options, and so my bookshelf has options. So there you go. Compared to the actual book I have read, compared to the books I haven't read, I own 352 books. There's only 80 that I haven't read. So I don't think that's that bad, to be honest. So that is how I've managed to get 80 books. So yeah, but one of my goals this year is to decrease that number, and we're doing a pretty good job so far. They are like separated into genres, so we'll be doing like fantasy first, then romance, then thrillers, blah blah blah. So that's the plan. Got my cup of tea ready to go. So yeah, the first book is The King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. So all I know about this is I'm pretty sure the like FMC in this is a human, and she is into an arranged marriage with the vampire king, who is called Adrian, and she's going to try and kill him. So immediately it's very like, obviously very fantasy. It's a typical kind of trope, arranged marriage, you go to assassinate them, blah blah blah. I'm definitely intrigued about this because I'm currently reading a book right now with vampire, like the MMC being a vampire, and it is so good, and it's kind of like made me think like, wait a second, like I need to read more vampire romances, because I don't think I've read any except for the one I'm currently reading. This could definitely be cool to get into after that maybe. I've had a look into it. It says there is 3 books currently out, but I don't know how many there's going to be in the series. There isn't really a clear answer anywhere, so I'm not really sure when I will start this, but I'm definitely going to keep it. The second one is Defy the Night by Bridget Kemerer. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really know anything about this. I do know that there is a second one out. I don't know whether there's a third one, and I've heard really good things about this one. Oh, okay, so this is actually a trilogy now. So the first one is Defy the Night, the second is Defend the Dawn, and the third one is called Destroy the Day. And they are all over 4 stars, like average rating on Goodreads. So that is very, very positive, and so this could be a potential one soon. The only reason I've kind of avoided these is because when I did first buy them, they were the first ones in the book, like in the series. And that's kind of why I've avoided them. But now that they seem to have been completed, we could definitely get into this. Next, this book is, so first of all, it's Legend Born by Tracy Dion, and this is most probably the longest standing physical book, the longest book that has been on my TBR. I got this literally on my first, like I said, when I was younger, I used to just get loads of books all at once and like a big haul from Amazon. This was in the first Amazon like haul. So I've had this since like 2021, so that's kind of crazy. I've had a look and there is 3 in the series so far, and there's a 4th one coming out in January. I don't know if that's the final one or what, but I mostly won't read this one for a while until all of them are out, and then I can just go through them if I do enjoy the first one. All of them are over 4 rated on Goodreads so far, which again is extremely good. So definitely high expectations. I just want to wait until they're all out, and also the cover is so cool. I love that. Okay, this is a bit of an odd one. This is Angel Fall by Suzanne E. And I have no idea where I saw this, like where I got this recommendation, because I haven't really heard of anyone talking about it. However, on Goodreads, this one has 200,000 ratings, so it clearly, you know, has been popular. But I have no idea where I got this recommendation from. I have no idea what it's about, if I'm being completely honest. It has been 6 weeks since the angels returned to Earth and destroyed the world as we know it. When they fly away with a helpless little girl, her sister Penryn will do anything to get her back. Interessante. This is a completed trilogy, so could definitely get into this soon. It's very floppy. I love that. Yeah, intriguing. I think it'll be cool. It sounds like a cool little mini synopsis that we've got. All of those are also over 4 stars. So we're getting a lot of really good books. Oh my god, my nose. What is going on? Okay. So then we have a duel with the Vampire Lord, which is actually convenient since we've just been saying I want more books with vampires in, and here we have him right here. This is by Elise Cover. So this is kind of like an interconnected series. So each book follows a different couple, but there's like little links in between them. I'm definitely interested in reading this one since obviously I'm loving the one I'm reading right now. And the cover looks pretty cool, I will say. Florian is a vampire hunter, and she runs into the vampire lord Reuven, who basically kidnaps her and brings her to the vampire castle, and is now blood sworn to the vampire lord. She's bound in mind and body to her worst enemy. Ooh, okay, this one sounds good. This one sounds really good. I like it. Like, one of my favourite tropes is fated mates and like bonds where they can like feel each other's emotions, or like they have really insane like protective instincts and stuff. Oh my god, I absolutely love them. And I've just read a series called Beg the Night, and that has like, it's not mates but it's similar, and they have like the whole sharing like emotions things. And then the vampire one I'm reading right now is called A Bargain So Bloody, and that also has kind of like a blood bond sort of thing where he can feel her emotions and he's like really protective over her, and oh my god, I love them. So if you guys have any recommendations for me like that, please let me know, because they're my absolute favourite. Anyways, need a cup of tea. I've again had this for so long. It is the Shades of Magic set. So I have the box set. So the first one is A Darker Shade of Magic, the second is A Gathering of Shadows, and the third one is A Conjuring of Light. First of all, I love these books. I just find them so satisfying for some reason. I don't know why, but like it's really like aesthetically pleasing. I don't know what it is about it, but I just really love them. The thing is about these, I actually had a look into, I can't get it back in. Guys, if my nose looks red, I keep itching it. There's like something wrong with my nose. When I looked into these, I actually looked into it like a couple of weeks back. Apparently there isn't much romance in there. There's like some sort of connection, but it's not exactly romance apparently. And for me, I am massive on romance. Like, if I'm reading a fantasy, oh sorry, I keep hitting the mic. I do want romance. So if there's not romance, I find it a little hard. But I haven't really tried any without romance, so I guess I can't really say it, but I just feel like if there isn't, I don't know if I would find it a little bit more slower, or I don't know. I think I've got to definitely give it a go. I do really want to read this series. It's just that it's just putting me off that there isn't any romance, because I do love that about romances and stuff. Like, that is kind of my favourite part. I definitely need to give it a try because I haven't really tried it, so I can't really knock it yet, so we'll have to see. I honestly kind of forgot I had a special edition of this. Yeah, okay. Anyways, this is Brimstone by Callie Hart. So this is the second one to Quicksilver. That went pretty popular on BookTok. I gave it a 4, I think. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Wasn't super like memorable or stand out, but it was enjoyable and I did want to continue the series. I haven't read this one yet purely because the third one and final one, I'm pretty certain, comes out in November. So I'm going to wait until that one's out before I read this, because then I don't have to like wait ages for the next one. So that's my plan with this. So I do intend to read it soon and this year, just closer to the time of the third release. But this cover is really cool, like a little metallic orange, like bronze colour. I don't think there's, oh wait, what? I completely forgot this was, yeah, okay. What? I don't even think I registered this. I don't even think I even looked at this, if I'm being completely honest. Hold on. Oh, that's so cute. It's the fox. It's adorable. Guys, I know a lot of people might be screaming at me through the screen right now for not reading this yet because it is so popular. I just haven't had the urge whatsoever. And the funny thing is, I've had this from the release date. Like, I had it pre-ordered. I got it as soon as we could. And I was so excited for it as well. I have literally a whole notes app on my phone of things, of theories of this book, and I have yet to read it. I think the main thing is Iron Flame I wasn't too obsessed with. I think I gave it like a 4, which is still a good rating, but I don't think it was anywhere near as good as Fourth Wing. I gave that a 5. I absolutely loved Fourth Wing. I still enjoyed Iron Flame, but then I would definitely need to reread some of Iron Flame or read like a summary on it or something, because before I go back into this one, I can remember like the main plot points and the main things, especially like the ending. And then the other thing is, we don't know when the fourth one is coming out. Like, there hasn't been an inkling to when the fourth one is coming out, and that's what's mainly putting me off, because like having to wait then, like, and not even knowing when it is coming out, like, that's a lot. So I feel like I want to wait until there's at least a release date, and then I can read it closer to the time. Next is, I'm gonna do these together because they're kind of the same universe. So we have The Dragon's Promise and Her Radiant Curse by Elizabeth Lim. First of all, her books are some of the most stunning art I've ever seen. Like, what do you mean? Like, gorgeous. This one's a Waterstone special edition and it's signed. So this is the second one to, I don't know what the duology is actually called, but the first one is called Six Crimson Cranes. I gave it a 4.5. Honestly, I gave it that, but I would change it to like a 4 because I don't really remember all that much about it. It was very whimsical, very like fairy tale kind of vibes and stuff. And then the second one wasn't out at the time, and then I eventually got it, but I think it's because obviously you read it so long, like before the second one, and then you kind of lose the momentum and the mood to read it. So it's on my it's on my priority TBR though. I do want to read this soon, and I'm kind of looking forward to it because there was a little bit of subplot of romance in the first one. It was very, very subtle, but it was really nice, and I'm kind of excited to see how that develops in this one. So that is The Dragon's Promise, and then Her Radiant Curse is a prequel to that duology about a character in the first one. So that will also be pretty interesting to read about. We have The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. First of all, I absolutely love this cover. I just think it's so pretty. Like, oh, the pink border I really love. This is originally a Hermione fanfiction, I'm pretty sure. If you don't know what Hermione is, it is the ship name of Draco Malfoy and Hermione Granger from Harry Potter. And it was a very, very popular fanfiction Wattpad Tumblr couple, and I was obsessed with it. Like, I was in that. And then kind of there was a big time not long ago where people were then releasing their books that were originally Hermione fanfictions. So for example, we have Alchemized was originally Manacled. That's like the biggest one. 5 stars, by the way, guys, read that. This is another one, and then Rose in Chains is another one, which we will get to soon because that is also not read. This one I've heard pretty good things about. The only reason I haven't read it yet is because the second one and the final one comes out in July, I believe. So I'm just waiting until that one's out, or at least like a month before. So I could read it soon, to be fair, because it's July next month. And then it's just a less time to wait until the second one if I do enjoy this. Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen, kind of finding each other in multiple realities, and they like fall in love with each other through multiple timelines even though they're not supposed to be falling in love or something. Like, it's kind of like that. I've heard that it's like full of yearning. I think that's why I got it, is because I love yearning in a romance or a romantasy. I think it's like the best thing, and I heard this was full of it, and so that's kind of what drew me to buy this. I do want to read this soon. It's a standalone, so it's also perfect, and yeah. So it says on the back, and maybe that's all love is in the end, an endless tempting of fate. Oh wait, whoa. I did know I had this, I just forgot. I love you and I have loved you and I will love you until we meet again. Look at that, so pretty. And I think this is like supposed to be kind of like the string of fate, like that ties two kind of like soulmates together. Okay, these two I'm going to go through at the same time as well because they're in the same universe, and that is Born of Blood and Ash and Soul of Ash and Blood. So if you don't know these are from the Blood and Ash series and the Flesh and Fire series. So from Blood and Ash is the original one, and there is currently 5 out. Or is there 6? There might be 6 out now. This is the 5th one. I actually read a lot more than I thought. What? And that's where that bookmark is. Okay, anyway, that solves that. As you can see, I'm actually halfway through this one, and I put it down because I wasn't really feeling it at the time. But I definitely want to pick this up soon. It was supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be like 5 books, then it got to 6, and now it's 7. And I think the 7th one comes out next year. So I'm kind of just waiting for that one to come out so I can read them all at the same time, because this series, it's been a bit of a back and forth sort of thing with this one and the prequel series. The Flesh and Fire series is the prequel to this one, and it's been like back and forth between that, and then it's been very long waiting times, and then it's been drawn out more, and so it's been hard to get back into it, then wait for like a year or whatever, then try and get back into it, and it's been a bit of a cycle, and I've just kind of lost the urge to read it. Like, I understand books take a long time to write, and of course I want them to be good, I want them to be like, to spend time on them and whatnot, but then I feel like it also gets to a point where it can become a little bit like it's hard to get yourself back into the flow of the series. As for this one, this is the final one in the prequel, which is 4 books. I've read the first 3, and so again, I think I'll just read them when the 7th one out, and I can just read them all and stay within the universe without having to read it, come out, read it, blah blah blah. You know what I think is annoying my nose, what's bothering it? I think it's the dust from the books. That's all I can think of it being. Maybe like that's, I don't know, didn't know I had a dust kind of thing, but that's all I can think of it being, but it's really annoying. Right, next pile. First of all, we have Guild by Raven Kennedy, and this is the Plated Prisoner series. Why is this book like look so battered when I don't know why it looks like that, but I got this because I think apparently, might be wrong, there is the kind of mate trope in this. I may be wrong, but I swear I got this series because of that, because someone said it's that, but you know, it might not be right. But this is basically a retelling of King Midas, who, I think that's how you pronounce that, who is like the king that everything he touches turns to gold. I don't really know anything about this except for it's King Midas, and yeah, I don't know if the romance is between King Midas and her, because it don't really sound that promising on the pack if it is those. So maybe there's another person involved. I don't know. I've heard the like first 3 of these is really good, and then I think it might be the 4th or 5th one people feel like really let down by. So we'll have to see how I feel about the first one, if I'll continue it. I have a lot of books that are the first ones in series, so then like I don't want to read them yet because I'll have to buy all the other series, the other books in the series. But at some point I'm just gonna have to read them, and we'll see if we'll like them to continue them anyway. But yeah, so that's Guild. This one is Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. This has been on my TBR, not physical, but just like on my Goodreads like TBR list for years. Like for years and years and years. I've always seen it, I've always been very intrigued by it. And then my brother ended up getting it me for my birthday. So I've heard really, really good things about this. It sounds like quite unique, like a nice, refreshing fantasy kind of plot line. I don't know how many's in the series, but I want to say there's 4. I think it's this one. Oh yeah, so it seems it's this one, then Crescendo, Silence, and I'm going to assume Finale is the final book. Then we have The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. I got this pretty recently when me and my grandma went to Waterstones. It's very floppy, I love that. And I also love the cover, I just think it's so cool, and I really love the like shiny finish of it. So this is a duology. It is a series with more books in it, but it's like sets of 2. This is again a very similar kind of, she's a princess, she's been sent to her enemy's kingdom to marry their king and to kill him. So again, a very similar thing, but then she learns things about her kingdom and this kingdom, and she doesn't know where her loyalties lie when she starts to, you know, understand more. So it sounds really good, and I actually have had the urge to read this lately, and I am planning on doing a reading vlog with this book as well. So, you know, keep in tune for that one. Is that the... No, keep tuned for that one. But yeah, it sounds really fun, and this again has been on my Goodreads like TBR for years and years and years, and then when I saw it in Waterstones I was like, right, it's finally time to get this. Okay, next is Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. The first one is Phantasma, and I gave it a 5-star. I absolutely loved the romance in it. Blackwell was so, like, such a good MMC. There was so many, like, angsty scenes. There was so many, like, protective moments, and I loved I loved the FMC. So I'm really excited about this one. I'm really hoping the writing and the vibes is very similar in this one. And it sounds like it's called the Wicked Games series, so it's interconnected, and it follows like a deadly game in each one. And this one, she joins like a deadly game of hide and seek with this like family, like unintentionally, and the only way for her to survive is to faking being in love with the MMC in order to like try and escape his crazy ass family. So yeah, it definitely sounds interesting. The 3rd one comes out in September as well, called Daemonica. So I want to read this soon so that I can read that one as well in September. Guys, Fairytale by Veronica Lancer. This is a thick book. Why is that? I took this on holiday with me to Portugal, but I didn't end up reading it. This one's kind of battered, I won't lie, but I think that's because it's been in my my suitcase. Ugh, so annoying. Yeah, this is a thick book, and you know, yeah, but this is another like multiple timelines, and they like fall in love with different ones. Now, there's like 2 people I think involved in this, but it's not a love triangle, I've heard. The person I got this recommendation from is Mariana Reeds on YouTube, and she hates love triangles and I hate love triangles, so I feel like if she's recommending it, it can't be really a love triangle. But what I think it is she's fallen in love with these guys, but really it's the same guy but from different timelines. I think that's kind of the vibe of the book, like she keeps falling in love. I don't really know if I'm being completely honest, but it's very like gothic fantasy, and it sounds really interesting. Again, like full of yearning, which is my favourite. Ooh, so yeah, this sounds really, really good, and it's definitely on like my priority TBR, like it's on my radar. Another very, very, very popular one. This is the Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. I've heard amazing things about this one. I've heard amazing things about the romance and the MMC in particular. Only thing stopping me from reading this is there is like 5 books, and I don't know if it's even finished yet. So I'll look into that and see if it's... Let's actually have a look right now. How many books in the... What's it called? Gods and Monsters? Ooh! 7. Wow, okay. Right. Interesting. There is planned to be 7 books. The 5th one isn't out yet. If I had known that, I maybe wouldn't have got it. This is showing me that I need to research more into books before I buy them, because most people won't start that for a long time now, because it just annoys me, because like I need to stop getting books that aren't completed, but honestly that's so hard to do. Moving on from that, we have Nocticadia by Kerry Lake. Luckily this is a standalone, so that's a positive. I've heard it's kind of like a gothic, romantic, age gap, student, professor, yearning, really good romance. So that's, yeah. And I think it's like obviously academic setting as well. So it sounds really intriguing, it sounds really good, and I've heard lots of good things about this. Again, hello? Yeah. Okay, I got rudely interrupted right there, but I don't even know what I just said about this, but it sounds good, and yeah, I'm just not in the mood to read it yet. Next, we have Half City by Kate Golden. So I saw this on Instagram, and one of like the artists that I follow who do like art for books and things released a cover that she did for I think it was the Fairy Loot edition, or I don't know which edition it was, for Half City, and it looked amazing. And I literally got this book from that fan art alone. I also really like this cover as well. I think it looks really cool. This is like an academic setting. She is a demon hunter, and the guy she meets is a demon, and they're in this like school together. So it sounds pretty cool, like an urban fantasy. I'm getting a little bit more into urban fantasies. However, the ones I have read, I haven't been obsessed with. So this will be again like interesting to see how I feel about urban fantasy. Because so far it's not really been like a subgenre I've loved. But yeah, so that will be interesting. The second one is coming out soon, I'm pretty sure, like this year, and then I don't know how many books it's planned to be. I think it's like 4 or 5, which again is like, it's tough out here, you know. There's so many unfinished series, there's so many series I want to read, like Starside, I really want to read that, but then there's like, I think it's planned to be like 4 or 5 books. But I won't lie, like I will be getting that book soon. There's only so long I can resist the temptation of that book. But yeah, so I'm really excited about this one, and I think it's going to be really promising. Next is Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross, and this is definitely going to be a book that I read soon, potentially this month or the next month, because I just finished the Divine Rivals duology, and I really loved her writing style. I loved her romance. I gave the first one a 4, the second one a 3.75, and I've heard the yearning in this one is insane. I've heard it's insane. The FMC is a mortal goddess, and the MMC is a mortal, and so they fall in love, and it's kind of forbidden. And yeah, I just think it's going to be amazing. I've heard amazing things about this, so I am really excited to read this soon whenever I do. I'm just really into like the vibe of books I'm reading at the minute, which is like very protective MMC, kind of bonded. Yeah. and I'm reading them all on my Kindle, on my phone. I want to get a Kindle because I've literally been awakened to a whole new world that I didn't know even was there. I went on Amazon to look at this book that I wanted to read, and it was like £15. I didn't really want to spend that at the moment. But then I saw it was £0 on Kindle Unlimited, and I was like, what is this Kindle Unlimited? So I downloaded the app, I got a 3-month trial for free, and yeah, the amount of books I can get on there for free is ridiculous. So I think I'm gonna invest in a Kindle, and I'm gonna pay the like Kindle Unlimited subscription because I've been awakened to a whole new world. So I'm currently reading so many books on there at the moment. Next is Rose in Chains. As I've just said, this is by Julie Soto, and this is a Hermione fan fiction that got turned into a book. All of these ones that have been turned from that, I have super high expectations for, because the vibe of Hermione is unmatched. It's so good. So I'm expecting really good things. And this sounds like one where the war's over, and like it's where, in Harry Potter terms, Voldemort has won, and it's the aftermath of the dark side like winning. So this is the same thing in here. And she is a princess who is captured by the enemy, stripped of her magic, and auctioned off to the highest bidder. She's sold to Tovin Hearst, scion of the powerful and devious Hearst family. And her secret infatuation. I think this is a duology. I don't think the second one is out yet, but I think it's coming out soon. And this is also a special edition that my boyfriend accidentally got me. So I put this on my list of books that I wanted, like for potential like birthday presents, and he got me this, and he didn't realise that it had this on the bottom, and I was just like obsessed with it. Woohoo! And look at that. I love, every hardback should have a foiled cover. Every hardback, because I love them. I love having that. And guys, what? Guys. Oh my god, I'm obsessed. So I'm just editing this video, and like ignore the hair because like I don't know what's going on either, so you know. But I just recognised the art, right? And I saw that she had a golden dress on, and I was like, hold on a second, this, you know, reminds me of a certain fan fiction that I loved. And then I was like thinking about the synopsis that I just said. How did I not clock this as I was reading it? This book is based off of The Auction. So like how Alchemized was originally Manacled, The Rose in Chains was originally The Auction. My favourite Hermione fanfiction I ever read. How did I not know that? How did I not recognise that? Oh my god, I'm literally so excited to read this now because, like I said, that was my favourite ever. Like, I can remember it so well. And the golden dress just, like, sparked my memory, and I was like, oh my god. So yeah, I'm now super excited to read this, and it'll most probably be read very, 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 very soon. Oh, and I also did, in fact, get a Kindle, like, literally, like, 3 days after filming this. So, yeah. Oh, it's a trilogy. No. God damn it. So the second one is called Vine of Hearts, expected 26th of November of this year. Damn it. I thought it was a duology. I'll most probably beat it soon anyway because I fancy it, so I'll just have to wait. Okay, final one in the fantasy section is Circe. I think that's how you say it, and this is a Greek mythology book by Madeline Miller. If you do not know who Madeline Miller is, she wrote the absolute insane, beautiful, gorgeous-tastic, says-tastic masterpiece, The Song of Achilles. If you have not read that book, oh my gosh. Heartbreak on a whole nother level. I literally sobbed for like the last quarter of that book and didn't stop sobbing. It was amazing. The writing of Madeline Miller is insane, and yeah, wow, you need to read it. It's life-changing. So this is Circe, the same author, and this is, I don't really know much about Circe's story. I really love Greek mythology, and I've started reading a little bit more into it and like trying to learn more about it. I read the Greek and Roman myths, which was like a beginner's guide on it, And there is another one that I want to read, which I will show you later because I haven't read it yet. But yeah, so this is Circe's story. This book, the cover, look at her, look at the detail of that foiling. Like, are you okay? And then the inside is so pretty. So yeah, I'm very intrigued by this one. I think it's going to be really good. And like I said, the writing of Madeline Miller in the Song of Achilles was insane. So I'm really excited to kind of read that again. I feel like it's just one I need to be in the mood for to really appreciate it and things. So it's just not really been up there on like my radar at the minute. The next genre of books we're going through is romance. I have quite a lot of romance ones that I need to still read. I just don't have the urge, like the mood to read romance as much as I do fantasy romance. That's definitely my favourite genre, but then once I'm in a romance mood, I get really into the romance mood. So yeah, it's one of those. The first one is Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. So this is the Twisted series, it is the third one, and weirdly I read the first and the second. I skipped the third and I read the fourth, even though I owned this one, mainly because I just wasn't as like intrigued about the synopsis as much with this one. It didn't really tickle my pickle. I think it's kind of like, yeah, it's like friends with benefits, but I don't think it's actually friends, it's like enemies with benefits, and then obviously feelings get involved and whatnot. It just doesn't really take my fancy at the minute. The next is Hands Down by Marion Zapata. If you do not know, I am obsessed with Marion Zapata. I recently read When Gracie Met the Grump by her, and I really enjoyed that, and it just reminded me of how much I'm obsessed with her writing. And so this is definitely going to be like on the soon to be read like list. This is a spin-off from a character that was in The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. So I just haven't heard as good things about this one as the others, but I think it's still going to be really good. MZ is the master of slow burn. She's the queen of slow burn. So I'm expecting really good things still. Okay, these ones are quite popular. So this is the Addicted series. I've read Addicted to You, but I would need to reread it because I can't really remember much from them. This is the second one, which is Ricochet, and then the third one is Addicted for Now. The reason I haven't really read these yet, and I honestly kind of forget I own these most of the time, is the topics in the books is a lot more like serious and deeper. Like they focus on addictions and like trauma and like things, and I think it's definitely one of those that you have to be in the right like headspace and mindset to read. Like you have to want to read about that, you know what I mean? And I just haven't really had the urge to get into that at the minute. So it's definitely one of those where it will be a distant kind of read for me, but I own them, so I do want to get into the series. Yeah, so there may be people screaming through the screen to tell me to read this right now. This is Binding 13, and this is the very first book in the Boys of Tommen series. I got this, as you can tell by the cover, a very long time ago. This was before it was traditionally published, and I don't even know where I got the recommendation from because it was before it went viral. It was before it got popular. And yeah, like I said, I don't know where I got it from. I obviously got it from someone, and I still have not read it. First of all, this freaking cover is actually gross. I'm so sorry, but it's really like, I hate when there's human people on the covers. I think a lot of people can relate to that. No, that's not it. However, I think this is quite a flex to have this cover because it's the like OG. I don't know whether it is. Let me know if this is like a sought after book. This is a romance between Johnny Kavanagh and Shannon Lynch, and again this is a very, I think, trauma heavy, very deep and like sensitive topics and stuff. So again, I think it's one of those books where I'm gonna have to be ready for it and in the mood to read it and like in the right mindset to read it. So again, it's not really something I'm drawn to very often to read. Yeah, let me know if this is a sought after cover, because also I've been hearing that the Throne of Glass series, hold up, I've been seeing these covers a lot, like this set, like people wanting them really badly, and like it's kind of like a rare set. I got this obviously years and years ago off of Amazon in a set of 8, like the box set, and yeah, apparently this is what people want now. Again, let me know. The thing is I like literally tabbed and written them, and they're not tabbed nicely either, so like they're not annotated in neatly. Like this is when I just went rogue with a highlighter, but these ones aren't actually highlighted, so maybe I didn't. Next, okay guys, bear with me here, like don't get mad, just like bear with. So this is obviously Colleen Hoover books. Oh my gosh, the absolute insane obsession, book talk and book talk, wait, did I just say book talk? Booktube? I don't know. Booktube and book talk had with this author is insane. Like the actual chokehold she had on the community is insane. And when you kind of look back on the books, it kind of makes you think, what an interesting time. Because some of them I did enjoy. Like, for example, It Ends With Us. There's definitely weird aspects to it, but is it a good book? I genuinely think it's a pretty decent book. Verity, okay, I'm not even gonna lie, I love Verity. Like, it's one of the first thrillers I read. I was super into it. The plot twists were insane. I loved the ending. Like, I genuinely loved Verity. And then I have these 3, and these were just books that I bought during that whole time. They've been on my physical TBR for, I'd say, like 3 years now that I haven't read them. I think I'm honestly going to get rid of these 2. So that is Reminders of Him and Without Merit, because this one I think is a love triangle, and I hate love triangles, and it just doesn't interest me whatsoever, like the synopsis of it. And then this one, again, I don't really know much about it, but it doesn't interest me whatsoever. So I think I am actually going to get rid of those 2, like put them on Vinted or something, I don't know. And this one, November 9, I think I'm going to keep this one just because this was one of the more hyped up ones. I feel like the main, no, because Ugly Love was definitely up there. I feel like the main 3 was It Ends With Us, Verity and Ugly Love, but this was definitely very close to that. And I think I want to read it just to see what everyone was going on about. And then I think we'll call it then a day with the Colleen Hoover. I honestly don't even know what the controversy around her was, but people seem to have moved on from that now since she's like releasing movies and everything. So I don't really know what happened, if I'm being honest with you, but I think I'm going to keep this one and read this, but I think I'm going to get rid of these 2 because I just can't see myself ever picking these up to read. So this is the books by Liz Tomfordy that I still have to read. These 2 are in the Windy City series. It is a interconnected sports romance series. The first one I gave a 4, the second one I gave a 5, and the third one I gave a 3.5. And then I still have Play Along and Rewind It Back to read. So Play Along sounds really good. It's like the MC has been yearning after this woman for years, but she's always had like a wedding ring on, like a engagement ring on, so he's kind of kept his distance, but he's always jokingly flirted with her. Then all of a sudden the ring is gone, and he's like, hold up a second, I have a chance here, like let's lock in. And then they go to Vegas, they wake up and they are married. So yeah, I think, and she is the like physio and of the baseball team that he plays on. So sounds very, very good, and I've heard amazing things about that one. And then we have Rewind It Back, which is about Hallie and Rio, and this is a second chance romance, and she is like a I think she's like an interior designer or something, and she moves next door to Rio without realizing, and then his apartment is the apartment that she's designing. I think I may have that wrong, but I think that's what it is. So yeah, so these both sound really, really good. I'm excited to get into these. The only thing that's bugging me is all my books follow this skyline thing, and then Rewind It Back doesn't have it. But I got them both from Waterstones, so why, what is that? And then we have In Her Own League, which is a new release that she just brought out, and it is signed by the author, by the way. It was like the last one on the shelf at the Waterstones I went to. Immediately picked it up. This has got really good reviews so far, and it is a spin-off of that series. It's a spin-off from one of the dads in that series. So yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a good read. I'm getting a little tired of talking about these now. Okay, right. Next is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. Again, this is kind of like an OG book talk romance that got extremely hyped up, and honestly it doesn't tickle my pickle anymore. She like moves to Paris on her own, not speaking a word of French. Anna finds herself making new friends, including Etienne St. Clair, the smart, beautiful boy from the floor above, but he's taken and Anna might be too. Will a year of romantic near misses end with the French kiss she's been waiting for? I don't like the sound of it. I don't like the sound of it. Hold up, I'm actually just going to Google something real quick, because I just have a feeling that there's going to be a certain trope in here. Yeah, no. Yes, Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins features a messy love triangle. Not just a love triangle, a messy one. Or more accurately, a love square. The main romantic dilemma revolves around Etienne St. Clair, his loyal girlfriend Ellie, and Anna. He's already in a serious relationship for a large chunk of the book, and then Anna has lingering feelings for another guy. Yeah, no, that's getting immediately put on Bernard. Nope. No, I can't do that. One thing about me is a love triangle. No, absolutely not. Do not come near me with it. I also know there's another trope in the end of this book. It's technically a spoiler, so I don't want to say it. If you don't want to hear it, skip to this time. Okay, I'm just making sure they've gone. It has the pregnancy trope in this. I'm pretty certain at the end she becomes pregnant. So we're done here. We're done. Next is Love Me Do by Lindsay Kelk. And this is, I don't know. I got this in, my mum got me like a blind book thing, and this was the book. She's written the perfect romance for somebody else and then falls in love with a guy. So quite cute little artwork on the front as well. So intriguing. My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. So I started this a while ago, and I got like a chapter in and I put it back down because there was a sentence where it was like something about her boobs, I think, and he was like immediately attracted to her, but it wasn't just like a little like she was nice, you know what I mean? It sent to more like insta love, and I'm not into that whatsoever. But I really enjoyed the synopsis of this. It's basically she goes on holiday and she gets to the place she's supposed to be staying at, and she finds a dead body, and then this like dude comes up who is a bounty hunter. She's a school teacher, he's a bounty hunter, and he like ends up trying to work out who killed this guy, and she joins in on trying to find out who killed him. I will try this again. I just maybe wasn't in the right mood for it. However, the Insta kind of lust put me off a little bit. So yeah, that just worries me a little bit. Next is How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. So I have read The Midnight Library. I read this year and it was really good. I really enjoyed his writing. The concept was super unique and it was very interesting. This one, I think so it's about a guy who's kind of immortal. He's been alive for centuries. As long as he keeps changing his identity, he can stay one step ahead of his past and stay alive. The one thing he must not do is fall in love. And obviously he's most probably going to fall in love. So then we have Say You Swear by, I want to say that's Megan, but it's spelled like Megan. But I think it, Megan? Brandy. This is a sports college romance. I actually did start reading this and I got a decent way bit into it before I stopped because I wasn't that obsessed with the writing style in this one, and it, I don't know, I was a bit like but again, I just don't know if I was in the right mood for it, so I think I need to go back into it, try again. The next I'm doing as a free because they're all part of the same series, and that is the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. This is the cowboy romance I was on about earlier. So the first two is Flawless and Heartless. I gave Flawless a 4 and Heartless a 4.5. I really enjoyed them. I liked the writing style. I liked the romance. It was fun. It was cute. Fast pace. And then I just kind of stopped just to prolong the series a little bit. Two childhood best friends, two broken hearts, one impromptu road trip to get away from everything. So is this childhood friends to lovers or second chance? I don't really like friends to lovers or second chance, so that's not fantastic. Oh frick. They have like a one night stand together, it's supposed to be a one-time thing, a secret, but that little plus sign is going to make this secret impossible to keep. Okay, so she gets pregnant. Frick. Cool. Sick. This one sounds interesting. This one I don't know, and this one sounds really good. We have two Emily Henry books. I've had these for so long. Oh my god. So I've already read You and Me on Vacation, which I only just read this year, which I did do a reading vlog on that, so go check that out. Then we have Book Lovers and Beach Read. I did really enjoy her writing style. I liked the plot and the romance. I don't know why, there's just something about it. It never draws me in to read these. And I don't know why, because they have such good reviews and ratings and everyone loves Emily Henry. I just never feel the urge to read them. I don't know what it is. Then we have The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I'm pretty certain the synopsis of this is they were together. Oh wait, maybe that's a lie. They're enemies. Everyone on the wedding party gets food poisoning except for them, so they get a free holiday that was meant to be the honeymoon for this other couple. So enemies to lovers, forced proximity, actually sounds pretty good. Next is The American Roommate Experiment. This is the same author as The Spanish Love Deception, which was really, really popular. This is Elena Armas, and I think they just like, she moves into her best friend's apartment because her apartment just got wrecked and they have to basically share it, so it's obviously like forced proximity. She likes him, like she's been stalking him on Instagram, and then turns out he's the roommate that she has to live with. So it actually sounds pretty good. I'm actually really glad I've done this video because it's given me a little bit of a better insight into actually what I have, and like a rejig on the actual synopses of everything, because I kind of just I think I just assumed with a lot of books about what they were and why I didn't want to read them. But then reading the synopses, I'm actually like, these actually sound really good. Like, what's up with me, you know? Then we have two Ali Hazelwood books. These are the final books I need to read by Ali Hazelwood. We have Deep End, which I've heard really bad things about this one, but I want to read it because I love Ali Hazelwood. I love her writing. I want to see what I think of this for myself. But people were extremely disappointed by this one, and from the sounds of it, the things that happen, I don't think I'm going to be liking either, but we're just going to have to go with it and see what I think. And then we have Not in Love, which is like a friends with benefits, I think. They both have like quite difficult pasts, I believe, so it's a bit different from her other books that she's read, and I'm pretty sure there's like an author's note stating that. So yeah, but I do want to read this pretty soon. It's like kind of on my top list. That is all my romances. Okay, judging by the state of the shelf, there's a lot of unread books on that one. So that's what we're going to go through now. So first of all, I'm going to go through the thrillers, which I have 3 of. So the first one is Bunny by Mona Awad. I think that's how you say it. I really like this cover. I think like the hot pink, it's just like, I don't know, it just stands out. It's like about a thriller a girl who joins a cult, I believe, who they all call each other Bunny, and it's very like mysterious and weird and fairy tale horror, it says. So it definitely sounds interesting. I really like the cover and I think it's going to be cool to read. I haven't read a thriller in so long, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. Then we have Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. So I didn't actually buy this myself. My mum bought it for her to read and she was like, oh, like it sounds interesting. I'm going to try and read this. She didn't read a single page. She had it next to her like bed for weeks, for months. Never picked it up, and then she gave up and told me I can have it. And I haven't read it either, just because thriller's not really my genre, but I do like to read them very, very now, like every blue moon. So, you know, it's like about a couple and they all, like from the outside, they seem perfect, but then they actually have their own secrets and, you know, things going on behind closed doors. And that's literally the book title. What the flip. Okay, next we have The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I don't know how you pronounce that. This is the author of The Silent Patient, and I loved that book. I loved the plot twist. I loved the ending. I thought it was amazing. And this is the same author. And I think this is also, yeah, so it's The Maidens are Cambridge University's most exclusive society whose members are selected by the charismatic professor of Greek tragedy. So it does sound super, super interesting. I love Greek mythology, so I think it's going to be really fun to read with that in it as well. And it also sounds very similar to The Secret History by Donna Tartt. And that is one of my all-time favorite books. So yeah, definitely very promising. Then we have Normal People by Sally Rooney. I honestly don't know if I will read this one because I don't think it's a happy ending, and I don't know, it doesn't, yeah. I never have the urge to read this. I started it once and I didn't get very far into it before I put it back down. I know there's a series on this. I don't know, it's a very thin book as well, that's the thing. It's not even 200, it's like below 300. There's just something about it that doesn't want me to pick it up. The next is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. This is technically like a classic, but I'm going to include it with this. And I did start reading this before I put it down because I wasn't really in the right mood for it, so I wasn't really understanding it, and I want to read it and actually be invested and understand what's going on. I absolutely love the cover for this one. I think it's so cool. Next is A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khalid Hosseini, I'm gonna say. This is about the Taliban. So when the Taliban take over, life becomes a desperate struggle against starvation, brutality, and fear. Yet love can move a person to act in unexpected ways and lead them to overcome the most daunting obstacles with a startling heroism. Again, this is like super raved about as like just really moving, emotional, and also eye-opening, and so I think it'll be really good for that. I think it's really good to read things that show you different things going on in the world that you wouldn't understand, or you wouldn't, yeah, you know what I mean? Like different people's experiences in life and what they have to go through. Very similar is The Twins of Auschwitz. This is more of a memoir. When I looked into it, it's like a memoir, but it's obviously kind of being made into a story. So it's similar to The Tattooist of Auschwitz. It's based on a true story, but it's obviously being told as it's not fiction because it's not made up, but you know what I mean. So this is, I don't know if it's the same, it's not the same author, but I don't know, I think my grandma actually passed me this one to read, and I do want to read this soon, so yeah. And then we have The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I recently got this one. I got this because it's actually a banned book in America, and I kind of want to just read it because it's banned, and I want to see why it's banned. I want to see, you know, why it was restricted, and it was obviously restricted because it most probably reflects much of the things going on in the world today, and people have said that from what I've heard. It's very eye-opening, it's very reflective of like conflict going on in the world today, and it's kind of scary in a way to see something so similar to what is happening. So we will see if it is, but I think it's just one of those that people say is like a must read, and I really want to like read more of those. Then we have The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. So I read The Secret History. It's one of my all-time favourite books. I absolutely love her writing, and this one is like also really raved about along with The Secret History. So that's why I got this one. I think it's definitely very different to The Secret History. I think it's more kind of about grief and dealing with that. It says Theo is tormented by longing for his mother, and down the years he clings to the thing that most reminds him of her, a small captivating painting that ultimately draws him into the criminal underworld. So it sounds very interesting, and I think it will, I think it's just going to be a really good like writing, and I think that will really draw me into it. The next 4 is what I would say are kind of like dark academia vibes. I don't know what the name of the genre is for these. Like, I don't know what they fall under. The first one we have is Ninth House by Leah Bardugo. I did start reading this ages ago and then put it down because I wasn't really getting into it, and I think it just was the wrong time. So I do want to try this again. I think it's kind of about like some forbidden societies, and I don't think there's magic in it. There is. They tamper with forbidden magic, they raise the dead, and sometimes they prey on the living. Same for this one. This is the Atlas 6. This was super hyped up at one point. Dark academia is kind of like a set of people competing for something. They're like rivals and they need to survive these trials, and there's only 5 places that are available, and so they're kind of competing for these places. It says 6 extraordinary magicians, 5 chances to win, 1 secret society. This one I got on my 16th birthday, and this is Babel, I think it's Babel, by R.F. Kuang. This was nominated as the Waterstones Book of the Year, I'm pretty certain. I think it won it actually. It has stained edges and it's also signed by the author. I've heard this is mixed opinions. Some people find it boring because of how detailed and descriptive and things it is. Some people find it absolutely amazing. I feel like I am someone who definitely appreciates like flowery descriptive writing, so I think I will enjoy this one. Again, I think it's just one I have to be in the mindset for. One, because I feel like it's a book where you have to concentrate when you read this. You have to concentrate, you have to really make sure you are taking in the information and the world building for you to actually understand the book and enjoy the book. So yeah. Okay, so for classics, I'm just going to go through like the main titles really. I have a lot of copies of like different editions of the same book. So first we have Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I really want to annotate this book. I'm really excited to annotate it like chapter by chapter, and I want to watch the film. It is on the list of books I want to read this year, like a goal. So yeah. I want to read 2 classics this year. So far I have read none, but we have half the year left, so we're fine. This one is Dante's Inferno. I love the cover of this. I just think it's so cool, and I want to annotate this as well. So yeah, I don't really know too much about it except for he goes through the 9 circles of hell, I'm pretty sure. Next is The Phantom of the Opera. I haven't watched the movie yet, and I want to read the book before I watch the movie, so that's why I have this one. I also really want to see the musical because I've heard the music is amazing. Next is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I would like to get a paperback of this so I can annotate it. We did read like a little small part of this for my English literature. Like we did an annotated part of it, and it sounded pretty interesting, so I would like to get the paperback of this and annotate it, because I don't want to write in this one because it's a really pretty little edition. Then we have Emma, and I have this in the the Penguin Classics cloth bound edition. My auntie got me this one because she said she read it and she would love for me to read it. I just, like, you've got to be in the right mood for a classic for sure. And for me, when I have read classics, I read them like 2 or 3 chapters, then I go back to my normal fiction book, then I read 2 or 3 chapters, and I do it like that. I kind of spread it out because otherwise I get a bit bored. Then we have Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I know this is also a movie, or it might be a series with like Emma Watson and stuff in it, so I would like to watch that after I've read this. Again, it's just whenever I'm in the mood for it, but this is the cloth bound of that. Then we have Pericles by William Shakespeare. I wanted to read this because it was mentioned in the If We Were Villains book, and it made me intrigued to read this, so that makes sense. It made me interested in reading this, so that's literally the only reason I have that. And then we have Dracula by Bram Stoker, and this I think the 2 I'll read this year is Dracula and Wuthering Heights, because this one interests me a lot, and again I want to annotate this one like chapter by chapter and really get into it and, you know, understand it. If you can't tell, I am an English literature student. I'm taking English at uni this year, so I love annotating things. I love taking things apart and tabbing things and everything, so yeah. Dark romance. I'm gonna go through these pretty quickly now because I've literally been talking for like 2 hours and I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm losing it. So we have Sinners Anonymous and Sinners Condemned by Sam Sketcher. This is a dark romance interconnected series. The first one is Sinners Anonymous, and this is the Sinners Condemned, which is the second one. And then this one is actually like a mini duology within the series, and the second one is Sinners Consumed. Very good reviews about this one, and apparently the MMC, Angelo Visconti, is really good, so yep. And then I've heard this one is even better, so yeah, it just sounds really good. Then we have Caught Up and Game On by Nevessa Allen. I recently read Lights Out and I personally wasn't obsessed with it, so I kind of regret getting these 2 at the same time, because I most probably wouldn't have continued this interconnected series if I just read the first one and didn't have these 2. However, I own them now. I will be reading them. This one is a second chance romance, so I'm not looking forward to it that much. This one, however, sounds really good, and I love the cover, mainly because my favourite colour is green, so yeah. Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. This one follows a person who survived the same dude who kidnapped them, and it's like kind of him going through his trauma, and yeah, oh, it's going to be second chance. Frick. Yeah, so these are the last 3 of the Legacy of God series. So we have God of Ruin, which is the romance between Mia and Landon. I'm excited for this because she's a mute, has a dark past. Landon is a true psychopath. They do not like each other, and I just think it's going to be really, really good. Then we have God of Fury, which is between Nikolai and Brandon King. So it's MMC. And again, I think this one's going to be really good because they are literally the opposites, like the total opposites of each other. So I just think the romance is going to be really good in this one. And then we have God of War, which is between Eli King and Ava. And this is actually set after the other books, and there is the amnesia trope in this one, so interesting. Finally, guys, my non-fiction, which we will very speedily get through. I have a lot of like murder mystery psychopath kind of things that my mum got me because I love like crime documentaries and like looking into the minds of psychopaths and everything. So this is Talking with Psychopaths, and this one is Talking with Psychopaths again, but it's a different, like it's the second one or whatever. Then we have Unsolved Murders. It's just a list of murders that are unsolved, kind of the details about it, what happened, blah, blah, blah. So that's that one. Then we have Conspiracy Theories, again, just like a random non-fiction one my mum got me. And this is about tons and tons of conspiracy theories that people have. I don't really believe in loads of conspiracy theories, but I find it interesting to see other people's and see like what I think on them. So like very popular ones in here is like Area 51, Chernobyl, the coronavirus, Princess Diana. Finally, our final book, our 80th book, is Classical Mythology by A.R. Hope Moncrief. This is a more detailed, I just read the beginner's one, and this is a bit more of a more detailed one that I got from a old lady. And it just goes into the same things, but just with a little bit more detail, and I'm excited to go into it because as you know, as I've said, I really like learning about it, and I wanted to get more information on it this year. So that is that. Guys, I've literally been talking for 2 hours and sitting on the floor for 2 hours. Ooh. Well, this has been a video. I'm so excited to edit this. I'm gonna get food now. I was gonna film another video after this one, but I think I'm gonna film that tomorrow instead, because I feel like I've done enough talking for today. And then I'm going to play some Palia and I'm going to read some more. So yeah, that's my plans for the rest of the day. I'm sorry if this is a really long video. I can see it being most probably nearly an hour just because of the amount of books we've had to get through. But I've tried to go through at a decent pace where we're actually talking about the books a little bit, but I'm also not going on for, for hours. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please let me know which books out of these books you think I should prioritise. And what you guys think about them, any that you think I should stay away from. Yeah, so please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.